Welcome to Dreamy Tales, where soothing stories guide you into a peaceful night's sleep. Enjoy imaginative bedtime stories that take you on a journey to the land of dreams, accompanied by relaxing background sounds to help you unwind and drift off easily. Perfect for both children and adults, Dreamy Tales is your ideal companion to relax, wind down, and enjoy tranquil moments. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others. Tune in, relax, and let your mind wander into a world of calm and serenity with us. Max bounded through the familiar paths of Bluebell Forest, his small white tail bouncing behind him. The sun was shining brightly, and the birds sang their cheerful songs. As he passed by, his friends and neighbors called out to him, curious about his journey. "Where are you off to in such a hurry, Max?" asked Daisy, the deer, as she grazed near a cluster of flowers. Max grinned, his excitement bubbling over. "I'm going to find the Magical Moonstone. I've read all about it, and I think I know where it's hidden." Daisy's eyes widened. "The Moonstone? But that's just a legend, isn't it? And the Whispering Woods. It's dangerous out there." Max's smile didn't falter. "I'm not afraid. If there's a chance it's real, I have to find it. Imagine all the amazing things that could happen if I did." Daisy shook her head but smiled fondly. "You're a brave rabbit, Max. Just be careful, okay?" With a nod and a wave, Max continued on his way, his paws moving swiftly through the grass. As the forest grew denser, the familiar sights and sounds of Bluebell Forest began to fade, replaced by a quieter, more mysterious atmosphere. The trees grew taller, their branches forming a canopy that blocked out much of the sunlight, casting long shadows on the forest floor. Max's heart began to race, not from fear, but from excitement. He was getting closer to the Whispering Woods. As Max crossed the invisible boundary that separated Bluebell Forest from the Whispering Woods, a strange sensation washed over him. The air felt cooler, and the gentle rustling of the trees seemed almost like whispers, as though the forest itself was speaking to him. Max had heard stories about this place, how the trees could talk, and how they often warned travelers to turn back. But Max wasn't afraid. "I'm here for the Moonstone," Max whispered to himself, his paws steady as he ventured deeper into the woods. "Nothing's going to stop me." The path became more difficult to navigate, with twisted roots and thorny bushes blocking his way. But Max was determined. He carefully picked his way through the obstacles, his eyes scanning the forest for any sign of the Moonstone's glow. After several hours of walking, Max stopped to rest beneath a large oak tree. He pulled out a carrot from his satchel and nibbled on it, his ears twitching as he listened to the forest's whispers. Suddenly, he heard a voice, a real voice, not the whispers of the trees. "Lost, are we?" Max jumped up, his heart pounding. From the shadows emerged a figure, an old badger with silver fur and wise, gleaming eyes. He leaned on a crooked walking stick, his expression curious but kind. "I'm not lost," Max replied, though he wasn't entirely sure that was true. "I'm looking for something." The badger raised an eyebrow. "And what might that be, young rabbit?" Max took a deep breath. "I'm looking for the Magical Moonstone. Do you know where it is?" The badger's eyes gleamed with interest. "Ah, the Moonstone. Many have searched for it, but few have returned. It is said to be hidden deep within these woods, beyond the dark hollow and the misty marsh. The journey is perilous, and the moonstone itself is guarded by powerful magic. Max's heart skipped a beat. So it is real. Can you help me find it? The badger chuckled softly. I can point you in the right direction, but the rest of the journey is yours to make. Beware of the challenges ahead, young one. Not everything in these woods is as it seems. With a nod, the badger pointed his walking stick toward a narrow, overgrown path. Follow this trail, and it will lead you to the dark hollow. But be cautious. The hollow is a place of illusions and tricks. Trust your instincts, and you may yet succeed. Max thanked the badger and set off down the path, his determination stronger than ever. He knew the road ahead would be difficult, but he was ready for whatever challenges lay in wait. The path to the dark hollow was long and winding, with strange shapes and shadows flickering in the corners of Max's vision. The trees here were twisted and gnarled, their branches forming a maze of obstacles. As Max ventured deeper, the air grew thicker, and a heavy fog began to settle over the forest floor. Max's heart raced as he entered the hollow. The fog swirled around him, making it difficult to see more than a few feet ahead. He could hear the soft whispers of the trees again, but this time, they were louder, more insistent. Turn back, the voices seemed to say. Go no further. But Max pressed on, his paws moving cautiously through the thick mist. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the fog, another rabbit, just like him, standing in the distance. Max, the figure called, its voice eerily familiar. What are you doing here? You should go home. Max blinked in confusion. The rabbit looked exactly like him, same brown fur, same floppy ears, but something wasn't right. Max remembered the badger's warning. The hollow was a place of illusions. You're not real, Max said firmly, taking a step back. The figure's face twisted into a sneer, and with a flicker, it disappeared into the fog. Max shuddered, but he kept moving, determined not to let the tricks of the hollow stop him. He knew that the moonstone was real, and he wasn't going to be fooled by illusions. After what felt like hours of wandering through the fog, Max finally reached the edge of the hollow. The mist began to lift, and the trees became less twisted, their branches returning to their natural shapes. Max let out a sigh of relief, grateful to have made it through the hollow unscathed. Max's relief was short-lived, however, as he soon found himself standing at the edge of a vast, murky marsh. The water was dark and still, and the air was thick with the smell of damp earth and moss. This was the Misty Marsh, the second challenge on his journey to the Moonstone. Max hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to cross the marsh. There were no clear paths, only patches of tall grass and thick mud. But as he scanned the marsh, he noticed something strange, a faint, glowing light in the distance, just beyond the marsh's edge. That must be it, Max whispered to himself, his heart pounding with excitement. The Moonstone. With renewed determination, Max carefully stepped into the marsh. The mud squelched beneath his paws, and the water was cold and slimy, but he pressed on, keeping his eyes on the glowing light. As he waded deeper into the marsh, the ground became more unstable, and Max found himself sinking deeper into the mud. His legs ached from the effort, and he could feel the weight of the journey pressing down on him. But he refused to give up. Suddenly, a loud croak echoed through the marsh, and Max froze. From the water, a massive frog emerged, its slimy green skin glistening in the dim light. "Who dares to enter my marsh?" the frog croaked, its voice booming. Max swallowed hard but stood his ground. I'm Max, and I'm searching for the magical moonstone. The frog's eyes narrowed. The moonstone?
Ha!
Many have tried to cross this marsh in search of it, but none have succeeded. What makes you think you'll be any different? Max squared his shoulders. Because I won't give up. I've come too far to turn back now. The frog let out a deep, rumbling laugh. Very well, brave rabbit. If you wish to cross my marsh, you must solve a riddle. Answer correctly, and I will let you pass. Fail, and you will sink into the mud forever. Max's heart raced as the frog cleared its throat. Here is your riddle, the frog croaked. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Max thought hard, his mind racing as he tried to solve the riddle. Cities but no houses, forests but no trees, rivers but no water. Then, suddenly, it hit him. A map! Max exclaimed. You're talking about a map? The frog blinked in surprise, then let out a low chuckle. Clever rabbit. You have answered correctly. You may pass. With a wave of its slimy hand, the frog sank back into the water, and the path ahead of Max cleared. The glowing light of the moonstone was now just a short distance away. Max's heart raced as he approached the glowing light. The moonstone was even more beautiful than he had imagined, a large, shimmering crystal that pulsed with a soft, silver glow. It rested on a small pedestal in the center of a clearing, surrounded by tall, ancient trees. Max stepped forward, his paws trembling with excitement. He had finally found it, the magical moonstone. All his hard work, all his bravery, had led him to this moment. But as he reached out to touch the stone, a voice echoed through the clearing. Only those who seek the moonstone for selfless reasons may claim its power. Max froze, his paw inches away from the stone. The voice was deep and powerful, as though it was coming from the moonstone itself. What do you mean? Max asked, his voice shaky. The voice continued, the moonstone is not a treasure for those who seek power or wealth. Its magic is meant for those who wish to help others. Why have you come here, young rabbit? Max hesitated for a moment, then lowered his paw. I thought the moonstone could grant wishes. But now I see that it's not about the wish itself. It's about the journey, and what I've learned along the way. I don't need the moonstone to be brave or strong. I already am. The moonstone glowed brighter for a moment, then dimmed slightly, as if acknowledging Max's words. You have proven yourself worthy, Max. The true magic of the moonstone is not in granting wishes, but in the courage and wisdom it brings to those who seek it. Max smiled, a sense of peace washing over him. He didn't need the moonstone after all. The journey had been the true reward. With a final glance at the glowing stone, Max turned and began the long journey home, his heart full of pride and his spirit stronger than ever. The journey back through the Whispering Woods was much easier than the way in. Max felt lighter, his steps quicker and more confident. The dark hollow seemed less intimidating, and the misty marsh, though still murky, felt less treacherous now that Max had overcome its challenges. As he approached the edge of the woods and the familiar sights of Bluebell Forest came into view, Max couldn't help but smile. He had done it. He had ventured into the unknown, faced his fears, and come out stronger on the other side. When Max returned to Bluebell Forest, he was greeted with cheers and excitement from the other animals. Word of his adventure had spread quickly, and his friends and family were eager to hear about his journey. Max stood in the center of the clearing, his heart swelling with pride as he recounted his adventure. He told them about the wise old badger, the tricky illusions of the dark hollow, the riddle of the giant frog, and the wisdom of the moonstone. The other animals listened in awe, their eyes wide with wonder. And in the end, Max said with a smile, "I learned that true bravery doesn't come from magic or wishes. It comes from within." In the days that followed, Max's life returned to its normal routine. He spent his mornings nibbling on clover and his afternoons exploring the forest. But something had changed. Max felt stronger, more confident. He no longer needed to seek out adventure to prove himself. He knew that he was brave and capable, no matter what challenges came his way. The other animals in Bluebell Forest began to look up to Max as a leader and a friend. Whenever they faced a challenge or a difficult decision, they would come to Max for advice, knowing that his wisdom and bravery would guide them. And as for Max, he continued to explore the forest, always ready for the next adventure. But no matter where his journey took him, he knew that he would always carry the lessons of the Magical Moonstone with him, the importance of courage, wisdom, and the strength that comes from believing in yourself. And so, Max the rabbit lived happily ever after, his heart full of adventure and his spirit as bright as the moonstone itself.